Hello and welcome back. What makes an AI intelligent? The answer to this is something called an agent. If you understand agent very well, then your understanding on AI will not be confusing. In this video, let us see the basics of AI agent in the simplest possible way. No maths, no heavy lifting, all simple.
So, what is an agent? Let's look at it in a real world example. So, we are having an air conditioner, and the air conditioner is having a thermostat built inside it. And if the room is heated up, it switches on the air conditioner automatically. And if it is cooled enough, then it switches off the air conditioner automatically. In this case, the thermostat is an agent. So, if you look at the definition, an agent is a system which perceives or observes the environment where it resides and makes decisions based on the criteria and takes actions based on the decision it has made to achieve the goal. So let us take another example, that is a Google map. In the Google map, we have defined the destination, and what it does is like it observes all the environment, the traffic condition, the shortest possible route, and based on that it takes a decision that it need to go through a particular way, and in addition to that it gives you an option to choose the best route. So in this case, the Google Maps is an agent. So we learned about model in the previous video, and now we are learning about agent. So what is the difference between a model and an agent? For example, one of the most popular AI tool is ChatGPT. ChatGPT by itself is a model. But if the ChatGPT can use tools, for example, functions or some other APIs, and remember things and remember conversation and plan an action, then the ChatGPT is becoming an agent. Now let us see what are all the components of an agent. The first is an environment. The environment is the place where the agent resides. It may be physical or it may be digital. In our earlier example of an air conditioner, the environment is a room or the air conditioner in which the thermostat is residing. The thermostat is the agent in that case. Or it may be in an application. Suppose you are having a chat utility in your website, then the environment is your website. The next component is a sensor. Sensor is allowing the agent to observe its environment. For example, if you are having a security camera, a face sensing security camera. So then the camera is a sensor. Or if you are using Google Maps, the traffic condition is a sensor. The third is the decision making system. That is the brain of the agent. The decision system can be simple business rules, or it may be a machine learning, or it may be a large language model, like a GPT model or Google Gemini, anything it can. The last is the actuator. That is how actions are taken by the agent. It may be simply sending a message, or it may be generating a document, or maybe moving a robo, anything it can be. So these are all the core components of an agent. And we will be using agent in our entire practical session in our learning. So what are the type of agents? Agent is not a single type. It has a multiple different type of agents which we will be using. So the major types of the agents are the simple reflex, model based, goal based, utility based, and learning agent. We will go through each type of the agents in our coming slides. The first and foremost is a simple reflex agent. Let's look at it from an example perspective. So we have an automatic door. What all it does is if a human being is coming near that door, it opens, and once it crosses it, it closes. It doesn't remember anything, who has come, who has come first or who is coming next. It doesn't remember anything. Its only action is if a human being is coming, it has to open and close the door. So it doesn't have a memory. It observes only the current situation, and the actions are fast, but the actions are limited. And above all, the business rules are limited. Maybe an if else condition. If it is a human, open it. Otherwise, don't open it. If somebody is coming, open it. If not, don't open it. The next type of agent is a model based agent. For example, a robotic vacuum cleaner is an example of the model based agent because it remembers. Once you start the robotic cleaner, it navigates through the room and it understands what is where. Whether a furniture is there, it remembers. And what is the size of that room, it remembers. Everything it remembers, and the next time it uses that particular memory to navigate through this room and clean the room. And in between, if any new furniture is added, so then it identifies and it remembers it. So, so in at a high level, if we explain what model-based agents are, it has a memory and it uses the model of the environment, that is the room. It understands it, is able to take decisions. So at this point, there is a furniture, so I should not go beyond that. So everything it understands and take the decision. The next type of agent is a goal-based agent. Let us take an example of the Google Map. It has a goal. It need to take the user from destination A to destination B. So it doesn't just react to a request, but it tries to achieve the goal. It plans for it and it analyzes traffic condition. It analyzes any other shortest route is available and it is flexible. So if it is suggesting route A to B through C, you have a choice to take a decision to go through D. But the ultimate goal is to reach the destination. The next one is a little more complex, utility-based agents. For example, let us take a stock market bot. The goal is that it need to analyze the maximum profitability and suggest a decision that whether it can buy a stock or not. It is not a straightforward decision. It need to do a balancing. It need to analyze the profit versus the risk, versus cost. All these things you need to analyze and come to a conclusion and suggest. And one more is the learning agent. For example, your YouTube video suggestion. It understands your usage. Based on that, it suggests the best video which you may like. Similar thing is a Netflix. So the main advantage with the learning agent is that it continuously improves its knowledge. It observes and updates its model and utilizes it when the situation changes. So there are few agents which are rational agents. That means it may not be knowing everything in advance, but it uses some logics and provides the best possible action. For example, a Google Map. Google Map, when you start your planning, it may not be knowing everything. So the situation may change. The traffic may pile up very quickly. So what does it do? So at that particular time, based on that availability at that particular time, it makes a decision and provides you with a suggestion, whichever suits the best. So there is a difference between rationality and mistakes. So a rational agent doesn't mean that an agent which does mistakes. Few of the key characteristics of a rational agent are: an agent is rational only with respect to the performance measure. That means a definition of success, for example, in a Google map, may be between shortest route and the fastest route. And for a self-driving car, for example, it may be safety and efficiency. Rational agents work based on observation or a perception at that particular time. It doesn't work based on reality because, for example, if you take a Google map, it may not be able to predict what the traffic condition will be in the next 10 minutes. One of the key characteristics of the rational agent is it is time bound. So it won't think indefinitely. So it has to think and provide the decision in the shortest possible time. So what is an environment? Environment is everything external that the agent is working with or interacting with. So if for example, you are creating a chess application. So the chessboard is an environment for the chess A application. Suppose you are using Google Map. The road, the traffic condition, everything is an environment for the Google Map. And similarly, suppose if you are using an application, if it is used as an API for the data input, then that API is an environment for it. The modern AI agents, which we are going to use and develop applications, they are all based on large language models. They can understand natural language and generate content in the natural languages. And they can use tools. We will talk about tools separately. Tools can be a simple function, or it can be an API, or it can be an input, or it can be a totally separate ERP application from where the data is gathered. And modern AI agents are memory enabled. They can understand the conversation. They can so that the next subsequent queries can be based on what conversation you have already done. And they are autonomous. There is no need for a human intervention. They can work on its own. Hope this gives a small introduction about the AI agent. So now onwards, throughout this particular course, we will be using agent for all our development activities and understand how we can make an AI based application using Microsoft Agent Framework. See you in our next video. Thank you. Bye bye.